There's a secondary school music and dance competition running in Auckland at the moment. In fact, it's been running for the last 30 years and it's been discovering lots of young Kiwi talent that we can keep an eye on for the future. This year is no exception. It's called Stand Up, Stand Out. And one of the judges and one of our regular friends here at 13th Floor, Joash Fahitua, is here to tell me more about it. Talofa lava.
Yeah, hey,
lovely to see you.
Yeah, lovely to see you.
So tell me about Stand Up, Stand Out, because I felt terrible when I was researching it and realised, my God, this has been going for a long time. It should have more profile because it's really doing something for our young, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's a great platform for like all young artists. Like it's spread across all the secondary schools.
Yes.
And I think this year over like 1,000 candidates students have like put their name forward for this year's Stand Up, Stand Out. So it is growing as the years have gone by and stuff like that. And it's definitely a great platform for people with talent or just like hidden skills and things like that, with the music and the arts.
Did you go into it when you were young? Did you ever go to it?
No, so like you, I didn't quite hear about it, until I was approached to be one of the judges, and then getting to know the whole program and things like that. I was like, geez, this is massive. Like,
it should be much more known. So this is your third year as a judge.
So,
We'll talk about your experience judging it, but just tell us some more about the competition. So can anybody enter, or does the school have to first weed out, the ones they think are appropriate or not to enter? How does it work?
No, I think it's just anyone that wants to put their hand up, really, because it can be quite intimidating because you're going up against like everyone, pretty much in New Zealand, So, and I think the school's job should be to encourage the kids to put their hand up, because I feel like, especially with Kiwis and stuff, we feel like you need to be humble and things like that, and you can be that, but at the same time be able to showcase what you have, so yeah.
I wanted to ask you that, Josh, for someone who's got a lot of talent. They know it quietly in their bedroom when they're practicing their moves, but they just don't quite have that confidence yet. What would you say to them as a judge? Maybe not this year because they've missed out, the finals are coming up, but for next year, what would you say to them?
It's always just don't let, because they say it's a competition, I mean, don't let that sort of discourage you from doing it. Just go out and do it.
Don't hide your light.
Yeah, exactly.
Just do it more from love, just because you love dance.
And then the result is like, whatever the result is, it's just a matter of you went and did it. And then once you get a taste of it, I feel like that's when you can start to really, people will be like, oh, I want to do that again and improve in this and that. So yeah, that's what it comes down to.
Was that your story, starting off in dance?
Yeah, I would say so. I would say like I always looked at competition as like, oh, it's too scared because I might not be good enough. But it's always like, just don't worry about the result. Just go in and do it. And then sometimes you might even surprise yourself.
Do it because you love dance. Have you found many incredible dancers that were hiding their lights in the 3 years you've been judging?
Yeah, totally. Like, it's funny because, as you get older, you think you know a lot about the arts, especially within dance, because that's what I do. But these kids come up with some great ideas and the way they recycle some old ideas and make it fresh again is like, oh, I need to step my game up, but it's great to see it, that it's forever like changing and, the evolution of dance is growing.
It's such a beautiful expression of the soul, dance, isn't it?
Totally.
So what are the styles in Stand Up, Stand Out? What are the styles of dance?
I don't think there's any boundaries in the styles of dance. I think that, Stand Up, Stand Out, one of the great things about it is that it's just dance and
it can be ballet, it can be classical, to hip hop, to break dance,
to street, to whatever it is, cultural. So there's no boundaries. It's as long as it has dance in it. So
is kapa haka part of it?
Yeah, cultural. There's a few cultural ones in this year's competition. So that was good to see, and some contemporary, some classical, some. And obviously you got your hip hop in there, so yeah, it's a great board. So I think as a judge or judges, that's the challenge for us to see, how do we judge this in terms of, because it's different. It is different genres, and some of the genres aren't usually in competitions.
Absolutely. Yeah. So what is it, Josh, that you judge on? Is it seeing in that dancer some X factor, which is that passion you're talking about? Not just, you might execute the steps perfectly, but if you're passionless, it's not as much it's not as good as if you have a lot of passion and maybe don't do it perfectly. Does it work like that? How do you judge?
I think we got your usual sort of like execution of style and like steps and unison and things like that. But I think for me one of the most things is performance, like how they deliver their performance. Are they confident in their performance? So that I think that's the standout thing for me. Sometimes when these kids make certain movements in their choreography, they come out sort of second guessing themselves sometimes, but then it's like, but you made it, so you need to come out and bring it, you need to be confident in what you made and deliver it with that confidence.
Explain that. That's really interesting. Second guessing, how does that look? You mean they come out, they almost only partially deliver the step? Is that
it
what
was
you're saying?
like it's the sort of what would you say? One of them will be like the eye contact. You can tell like there's a slight sort of looking downwards instead of just outwards, and being like, this is me, instead of like, oh hey, like doing the steps and looking down, like they're shy almost, So it's just having that sort of that confidence to be like, boom. And I mean, in one of the workshops we did this year, I told the kids that like you're gonna have a moment when you look out into the audience, you will catch someone's eye, and it's sort of like, when you catch their eye, it's like almost like a battle. It's either you or the audience. So if you look down first, then the audience has won, and you're not confident. But if you look there and you make them feel awkward, and then they look down and they have a little giggle to themselves, then you won, and that means
that's
so it's that moment, and you will always get it, no matter.
Another way is, I think you always look in an audience when I'm emceeing. I always look for that face that's really enthusiastic, and then connect with them, and you go, oh my gosh, they're happy to be here. I'm happy to be performing for them. I want to do this. It's lovely. I just bumped the mic. I was so happy. So you're doing workshops as part of this as well. So you're training these kids.
Yeah. So we did like a workshop, a finalist workshop, to prepare them for. And give them feedback for the finals. So they went through the heats, and then we picked our finalists, and then we did workshops to prepare them for the finals. And so it's not so much like your usual workshop where, I just stand at the front and teach them a phrase or two, and then we run it and things like that. It's more of a workshop to work on their actual set piece, and find weaknesses and give them tips on how to work on certain things, and giving them that sort of rehearsal direction.
They must love it. They laugh it up when they're at that level.
Yeah.
They're really hungry for it.
And they really get really sweaty and tired,
The school that's done particularly well from my reading in the last few years has been Avondale College. Mm-hmm. What are the schools represented in the finals? I think there are 5 schools.
Yes, 5 schools.
Yes, or 5 groups, I should say.
Avondale will be one of them, I think.
I think there's Aurere, Marcelin, there might be one other. How do you manage with judging all of these? You don't judge right from the beginning, do you? Because that would be thousands of kids that you're having to look at.
We just get from the heat. So we only do the dance category. I only do the dance category, and then there's the other categories like music and soloists and bands and things like that. So and the instrumentals as well, like people just playing like on the drums, doing solo stuff.
Incredible.
So that's all, and they're all separate, and they all got different judges and stuff. So we just handle the dance side of things, so we do the heats. So we do it from the beginning, from the heats, and then we choose our finalists, and then from there we go into the finals. And
do you agonize over it sometimes?
Sometimes it's hard, because it's like some of them it's like we've had like some years where it's been. Well, some the years that I've been in, it's been pretty hard because I feel like they're all really good.
Yes.
So it's like, it's hard to really like separate. So
that is the great dilemma in the arts, to say one is better than another. For me, the arts, they're all different, and that's competition, but still it does serve them. It makes them more resilient to go through it. So where are the finals? How does it all play out?
So the finals is at the Vodafone Event Centre out south, and so it's huge. It's, I believe, next week, September 14th of September. Yeah.
Wow.
So 3 o'clock start, and the cool thing about it is free, so everyone can just rock up.
That is wonderful, and give you support. And that's the musicians, the dancers,
that's everything. All the finals, like from music to dance to the instrumentalists to the vocals. And so it's just one big, massive show.
What a glorious idea.
Is,
okay, so that's stand up, stand out. Let's move to Joash at the moment. What's happening in your life? Because it's always nice to have a little catch up. You're one of our good friends at 13th Floor. So you do a lot of fitness. I see your fitness online. You're extraordinarily fit. Are you still dancing a lot yourself?
Yeah, so, well, myself is not really so much dancing, but move myself to the creative side of things. So creating some work, jotting ideas down on the pad. And just sort of preparing ourselves, you know, me working with my partner, Perry Exeter. We got our own company called Trip the Light. You know, as new days, early days, but we've been building up since 2014, I believe.
I've seen some of Trip the Light's productions, and they're just magical. They're really imaginative, and I mean, you should be on the world stage. To me, you should be in. No, really, we should be having you in the New Zealand Arts Festival, the Auckland Arts Festival, and then off from there overseas. So, if anybody wants to help Joash with the next production, and you've got some funding, they always do really well. That's for Trip the Light. Where can they contact Joash?
What's
the contact?
Yeah, it'll just be probably through my email. Will be Joash at jfahitua@gmail.com.
Lovely, we'll put that up.
Just easy. Yeah.
It's always lovely. So when you've got this next production ready, come in and do some performance, and we'll follow you through.
Yeah, totally.
And good luck with the judging.
Yeah, thank you.
Lovely to talk to you.
Cheers.
Bye.
Cheers. Thanks, Liz.